Team Cup is, guys. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. It is such a huge catapulting thing for you in your business. So embrace it, find out what it is, get involved, because July Summit momentum is going to help you succeed in August. So very exciting time. Summer.
I know. So for my team, I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about Annalisa. She is 4-star diamond, right? I know you're pushing for that 5 major. She hit Premier in 2015. So that means she helped 2 coaches advance to diamond, and she had enough elite points to get to Premier. So if you don't know what that is, go Google it. You guys know, I tell you. But also more than that, she is a new mom to be. She just announced in the past month. So super exciting. She's a full-time coach and just like a wonderful, humble heart. I got to spend a lot of time with her on the cruise. We had some fun dinners together, just crazy stuff. But it really embodied for me, again, the power of this community. Like I said, I always seen her name pop up in our larger team Drop the Cookie, and I was like, who is this girl? But I never got a chance to really sit down and talk with her. So it's just another reason why get to events, because you never know who you're going to connect with. And I reached out to her, just, can you hop on my team call? And she's like, what do you want me to talk about? So I thought confidence was an awesome topic, especially going into Summit and stepping into new leadership roles and rank advancing and owning your future teams. I think she'll have a lot of great content to share with you. So I'm excited, and Annalisa, take it away.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And like she said, that's how I was going to start. We met on the cruise, and events are so freaking huge, guys. Like, I cannot say that enough. If you're not muted, can you just mute yourself, because I'm getting a lot of feedback on my end. But events are so huge because you meet a lot of people. Not only that, you get a sense for the community. And honestly, if you don't go to any events, you are missing an entire component of this business, this opportunity, because it is, I think, half, if not more, of what this is about is just being a part of this community. So get to events. If Super Saturday is your first one this August, get there, embrace it, go. Even if you don't know anybody there, you're going to get to know people. It's always a welcoming community. I know Mary, you're on the call tonight. Mary just moved to a new city, so this is her opportunity to get out there and meet anyone. If anyone here is in Cleveland area? Anyone? No. Sorry, Mary, I tried. But events are so huge, guys. So get there and just meet new people and have fun. And then you never know, you might be speaking on their call and learning from each other. So I am going to dive right in, because most of the time I think I don't have enough material and I end up going way over time and trying to scramble at the end, which is likely what is going to happen today. So bear with me as I talk pretty quickly. But I did want to talk today. It has a lot to do with confidence. It has a lot to do with kind of a positive attitude and how you succeed beyond the vital behaviors. What to do beyond the vital behaviors to help you succeed in your business. And so just a brief background on me. I started with Beachbody before my wedding, started with the Ultimate Reset, had great success. And when I came back from my wedding, and once that had kind of died down, my coach invited me to start coaching. So I was always into entrepreneurial things or making more money on the side. I'm a licensed speech and language pathologist. I recently left my full-time job after 3 years of, almost 2.5 years of working this business, to embrace this, to pursue this. And I have that opportunity to go back, but I lost my train of thought already. But anyway, the goal when I started was never to make this my full-time job. Never, ever, ever. I always was like, I'm going to do this as a hobby. I hope I can like ride the coattails of my coach the entire time, because I don't ever want to create a team page and I don't ever want to have to do all this business building stuff. That's where I started. And that slowly evolved into leaving my full-time job as a speech and language pathologist after $60,000 in student loans and pursuing this opportunity. So no matter where you are right now, guys, the things I'm going to tell you tonight are hopefully going to help you build a business, whether it's because you want to have a supplemental business or because you want to pursue this full-time and you have big goals to leave whatever it is you're doing, or maybe you're looking for whatever it is that you want to do. So I want to also start by telling you more so, Danielle told you kind of about my Beachbody accolades and the things that we recognize each other for, and it's very exciting things, and these are goals of mine. However, it would probably be more inspiring to you all if we started by going through my failures in the business, because the more I hear about people's failures and where they are now, the more inspired I am and the more I feel like I'm doing something right. So let me tell you really quickly about a couple of them. When I first started, I teamed up with Colleen Curtis, who was Colleen Eddy. You might know her. You probably know her. And she was my success partner for a long time, and now she's one of my very best friends. But we started off with a bang, and my first failure came in the sense of not achieving that first Success Club cruise. I was a success starter. I didn't know the business enough because, like I told you, I was a hobby coach. I was just kind of dabbling, but I liked hitting certain milestones. I liked hitting Success Club, so I did earn Success Starters, but I didn't really understand my business, so I didn't hit the milestones you needed to earn that Success Club cruise. And it was within reach. I just didn't know. So that was one of my first failures. I started with a bang. I hit 2-star very early on, and I went to the leadership retreat, which you had to be 2-star of my first full year in the business, and it was awesome. And from there, I missed the second leadership retreat, and I missed this year's leadership retreat. So those to me were like heartbreaking failures. Last year, I was gunning for elite, gunning for 5-star by the end of the year. I'm still not 5-star, and I thought I had it in the bag last December. So that to me was crushing. Okay. I've missed 5-star over and over and over again. I keep failing at it. I keep doing different things, and it keeps not working. My volume has plummeted. I have seen moments in my business where my volume was growing, and then it just stopped, or it started going in the reverse direction. I've had diamond coaches quit and cancel and not look back. And I've been called salesy. Very early on in my business, I was called salesy, and I got feedback that I was in it for the wrong reasons. So all of these things are things that could have stopped me in my tracks, could have forced me to quit very early on, could have, put a real roadblock in my business. But I'm still here. And I want to tell you kind of why that is and what I think I do differently from some people that are not still in the business, that let those kinds of things get to them. I'm in my attic, so it's very hot. I had to turn off the fan because it would just give you all some buzzing feedback. All right. So today I want to talk to you about something I'm passionate about, and that is the slight edge. That is the thing that I think that successful people in this business need. But I'm also combining that with ideas from John C. Maxwell's Roadmap to Success. And they fit nicely together. So strong points that I feel very passionate about. The goal is for you to take these points and implement them into your business. Nothing that I'm doing exactly is going to work in your business. If you posted everything I posted on my wall, on your wall, it wouldn't work for you. So you have to make this business your own. I tell my coaches all the time, I can do trainings on Success Club and the vital behaviors and all that, but those are things that are resourceful. You have access to all those trainings. What you don't necessarily have access to is the deeper understanding of what you can do in this business and what it takes beyond those vital behaviors to succeed. So how do I continue to move forward despite all those self-proclaimed failures that could have stopped me? So there are two types of habits that one can form in their business. One of them is going to put you on the success curve, and one of them is going to put you on somewhat of like a failure curve. There is no in between in this, according to John C. Maxwell, there's no in between about this. So think about your business. We are lucky enough to be told the behaviors that keep us on the success curve. They tell us. We don't have to figure it out. The vital behaviors are the behaviors we do that will keep us on the success curve. Do these things, see success. Don't do them, your business won't move forward. And I want you guys to really think about this, because we hear about the vital behaviors all the time, so much that it becomes wallpaper, right? I want you to really think, because I was guilty of this. Yes, I get it, the vital behaviors. Are you tracking your vital behaviors? Can you look back over the last week and say, every single day I did 1, 2, 3. I did them all, and I did them all multiple times a day. or inviting multiple times a day. It's likely if you're tracking things, you're going to see some goose eggs on there. You're going to see some holes that you can do better in the next week. So tracking your vital behaviors is so important instead of just kind of going through the motions of, yep, I get it, I got the vital behaviors, and not really doing them. Our habits are rooted in choice. Every single day, we choose what we are going to do. This is going to put your business on success curve or failure curve. So for example, success curve decisions and behaviors, getting up early to work out or staying up later to get your power hour in. Putting you on the failure curve might be complaining about your business and your lack of Success Club points. How many times have you guys come to the end of the month and all you can think about is how you're not in Success Club? The more you harp on that, right? The more you harp, and it happens, the more you harp on it, the more you're putting yourself on that negative track. You have to keep believing. You have to keep believing in your ability to achieve it. Success curve, meal prep on Sundays. If you get consistent with that, you're building a business based on consistency and people are watching you. Failure curve, missing your weekend workouts consistently. If you don't get in the habit of doing it, you're not really consistent. You're not practicing what you preach and telling your challengers to get it done on the weekend. Success curve, finding the silver lining in obstacles and challenges. This is something that is hard for a lot of people, especially as a new coach. We tend to harp on the things that are going wrong. You need to find the silver lining in those things. You need to say, okay, well, that stunk, but what can I learn from it? What can I move forward? What can I take from it? You know, constructive criticism or whatever. What can I take from that and move forward? That's going to put you on the success curve. Failure curve, shutting down and quitting in the face of a challenge. So many new coaches quit before they even begin because they get faced with no's or they don't hit Success Club their first month and they don't think they're a good coach. You have to be able to overcome challenges, right? You know about all of mine. You know about my struggles, my failures. Here I am. You've got to work beyond that, no matter how small or how large. Success curve, inviting every single day, no matter the outcome of the previous day. I know my team has heard about the analogy of the waitress serving coffee, right? If you haven't heard about this one, or if you have, bear with me, it's a really short analogy. If you haven't heard, it's about the waitress at a breakfast bar going to each table, and the gentleman says, no, he doesn't want coffee. The waitress doesn't stop asking other tables if they want coffee just because he didn't want coffee. And if he comes in tomorrow, she doesn't never ask him again if he wants coffee, right? It wasn't right for him right then and right now, but it might be tomorrow and it might be for everybody else in the room. So understanding that the outcome doesn't dictate where you're headed. Keeping that in mind will put you on the success curve. And failure curve is not reaching out to friends and family in fear of no, in fear of whatever you think they're thinking of you, perceived notions about what you think they're thinking of you. So what you focus on here, you invite into your business, right? And I am guilty of this all the time. I have my success partners and friends telling me like, okay, don't focus on it because you're just going to invite that into your business. If you dwell on it, that's all you're going to receive. So focus on the things that will put you on the success curve. Those behaviors become habit when you repeat them over and over. So consistency is so important, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I don't go a single day without inviting somebody or connecting with somebody new. Even on the weekends that I'm taking time off, I'm popping on Instagram for 5 minutes and starting a conversation with someone new. I don't go a single day without doing that. You have to get in the habit of doing it, and once you do get in the habit of it, it's kind of like, I guess, addicting in a way. Like you want to help more people because once that snowball starts rolling, you don't want it to slow down. So you just have to get it rolling. And you do that by doing these behaviors each day, making it consistent. So these habits develop and they cultivate this slight edge mentality. It can make or break you. It can generate the habits that will put you on the success curve or the downward spiral in your business. You have to self-evaluate. And I'm going to talk a little bit, but today's National Wake Up Call was awesome. Barbie Kalev was the speaker today. And if you didn't listen to it today because you're working or whatever, get on that call, listen to it, because she was awesome and she has some killer points. But one of them was self-evaluation. So you need to be able to look at your business and say, even beyond the vital behaviors, you need to be tracking of what you're doing each day. Are you showing up? So work backwards for a minute. Your life is created by your daily activities, right? And your daily activities are a result of your choices. You have control over what you do every single day. And your choices come in from your habit of thought, which comes from what we call your philosophy, or your view of the world and your space in it. So we can think of this in Beachbody as your view of yourself as a coach. You need to believe in yourself as a coach. You need to believe in this opportunity and where it can take you. Because otherwise, if you don't have the big picture, your choices have no roadmap. Like, why are you doing these things each day if you don't really believe in the big picture? It won't be worth it to you, and it will become more of a stressor than a stepping stone to your big dreams. Let's see. Okay, so the way to succeed in this business is rooted in your ability to dream and maintain a positive attitude. So let me break that down a little bit more. I recommend shifting your vision of your why into your dream, because I think it's more powerful. A dream has power, and it will provide you a reason to put in the work every day. So you've got this big dream, and it doesn't mean it's unattainable. It means this is the big thing you are dreaming of. If somebody asked you, what do you want in life? Had nothing to do with Beachbody. Like, if I could grant you anything in your life right now, what would it be? That's your big dream. How you can make that happen, you can do that with this opportunity. And it doesn't mean that Beachbody is the end-all be-all. I know, like, Colleen Curtis posted the other day about how Beachbody was kind of this opening door to other opportunities. So don't think you're pigeonholing yourself into this Beachbody coach life, but this opportunity can catapult you into things that are like otherwise unachievable. Maybe it's freeing up time for you to do what you really want to do. Maybe it's creating a supplemental income as a stay-at-home mom, so you can, do whatever it is that you and your spouse want to do together. So it's opening doors for you. But so the dream is so important, and I want you guys to start there. If you don't have a why, you don't have a big dream of why you're doing this, it's going to be really hard for you to push through the challenging moments. And as a new coach, it's really hard to do that at first. So, and it will change. Ask any coach in the business, their why and their dream probably changed as their business unfolded. Let's see, I'm kind of jumping around here, bear with me. So you see all these big top coaches and things achieving these, and instead of being like, oh, they're so lucky, you have to get in the mindset of like, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait until that's me. You have to believe that you are capable of that, because they really are no different. They're just showing up every day. So see what you're doing every day, and it's more than showing up. You have to know kind of what you're doing and have a plan of attack, but you have to start by showing up every day. Because a dream is honestly just a daydream if you don't have the right attitude and you're not able to be resourceful. So yes, it's important to have a dream. It's also important to have a positive attitude and to plug into those behaviors that we talk about, that I'm about to talk about. So, all right. So there are 7 signs that Maxwell talks about in terms of a good attitude. And I want you, as I go through these, to reflect on them in your own business and see which ones you might kind of have nailed and which ones you know you can improve on. All right. So the first one is belief in self. When you focus on your abilities rather than your limitations, you're going to develop this can-do attitude. It's so easy in this business to think about what we're not good at and how hard things are for us, but maybe you are rocking challenge groups. Focus on it, embrace it, make that your niche, right? Maybe you are a Success Club all-star. Maybe that is your thing and you're good at it and you're good at meeting new people and networking with new people. Focus in on it. Focus in on your strengths, but don't ignore your challenges. You'll have to just, believe in yourself, because you are doing the things that are growing a business, and we all struggle with other things. So you just have to remember that you can do this. Belief in yourself as a coach. Number 2, so number 1 was belief in self. Number 2 is willingness to see the best in others. When you go into a conversation with somebody and you are inviting them to a challenge group, do you automatically assume they're going to say no? Or are you putting a 10 on everyone's head, like, this is my next challenger, they're going to rock it, they're going to say yes to me because they're excited about this and I'm excited about this, and see the best in them. Know that they are capable of joining this. Don't prejudge them. Go into every conversation the same way. What you expect, you will get. If you go into a conversation with somebody and you're like, they're not going to say yes, but I'm going to invite them anyway because I have to invite 5 people, your tone is going to come across in your message. You have to go in excited, confident, thinking they're going to say yes. And even if they don't say yes, they're going to say yes down the road. So I'm going to have an excited conversation with them about it because this is life-changing and I know it. Let's see. All right. The third point, the third sign of a good attitude is ability to see opportunity everywhere. This can be hard. I will admit this was hard for me because I started off with such a bang. I had great success. I was viewed as a leader early on, and then things crumbled, and I, saw people kind of flying by me in their businesses, and I was kind of, I don't know the right word for it. I guess jealous is the appropriate word for it. But I listened to Amy Silverman once, and she was like, you have to put your pride aside. She wasn't talking directly to me, but it felt like it. You have to put your pride aside and be willing to learn from other people, no matter where they are in the business. New coaches who are succeeding, even though they've been in it for a year and they're freaking superstar diamond, whatever, you can learn from them. Even if they're new diamond, just after, 2 months of being in the business, they can teach you something. I have new coaches on the team right now that I'm so inspired by because they just get it. It just clicks with them. Things that are working for them are things that maybe I hadn't considered before. So there's always something to learn from somebody. So you have to be able to push your pride aside, be willing to open up for growth and take criticism and take tips from people who started way after you. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means you're willing to grow. Focus on solutions is the next one. So how good are you at focusing on solutions when a problem arises? Are you the first to complain in your team page about something? Or are you the first to say, hey, this is what happened, but this is what I'm going to do about it, and I want to give you guys a heads up because this is how I solved that problem. You have to be able to give people value no matter what, and so that comes with focusing on solutions, not harping on the problems. One of the things that I like to kind of use as another analogy is that challenges that come up in your business or failures that you perceive and that you undergo are not roadblocks in your business. They are speed bumps. And when you go over a speed bump, it slows you down temporarily, right? But then once you're over it, you start to pick up speed again. So you don't just hit this speed bump and then you stay at that speed forever. It's going to slow you down, maybe only for a day. And then the next day you're like, that sucked, and now I'm ready to explode my business. So you have to just think of these things as bumps in the road that you're going to get over, and your car is not going to fall apart, right? So how good are you at focusing on solutions, not problems? Number 5 is a desire to give. It says you'll never see a miserable, generous person, right? Those two things don't go hand in hand. So if you're ready to give to your challengers, to your coaches, to everyone around you, giving value doesn't mean giving expensive material things. It just means giving value to people. What can you give in your journey as a coach? It's a love language, and it's going to build confidence in you. And it's going to make you feel good about things. So the more you can give, the more kind of karma is on your side, and people are going to give back. Number 6 is persistence. Oh, let me go back to that a little bit, because desire to give is kind of like this, I don't want to say this. So you're not expecting people to do things for you all the time. If you embrace this journey as a coach as giving value in nutrition tips, in workout tips, in humor, in conversations, in relationship building, good things are going to come back around to you, because people trust in you and they're building this relationship with you, and you're not just out to get something from them. So that's where that desire to give will make you a successful Beachbody coach. You have to be willing to give without expectation for anything back, and it will happen naturally. Persistence. Failing is a result of the idea, if I don't succeed, I'm going to try something else. No, if you don't succeed, you're going to try that again and you're just going to modify it a little bit, adjust the sails, as I like to say. Being persistent, always knowing that success is right around the corner. That graphic pops up to me every time I feel like I'm not getting anywhere in my business. It's that miner who's like one mining stroke, what do you call that tool? I don't know. One stroke away from striking diamonds on the other side of the wall. And the person just gave up and walked away. And they were so close to success. I think of it too when I'm in the car with my husband. If I'm driving and we're lost, I am always like, oh, it's just around the next bend. I have a feeling we're in the right direction, but it's just around the next bend. That's that mentality. Like, you just keep going because it's going to come up. Granted, sometimes like I'm in the wrong direction at all, but I've got that mindset of like, I just don't want to give up on this because it could be there. So having that will kind of drive your business forward. It is right there, guys. Like, no matter what it is for you in your business, whether it's your first month as a coach and you're trying to hit Success Club, you don't give up on the 29th and 30th of the month. You work until the last minute of your waking minute or whatever of the month to hit that goal, because success is there. You just have to work for it. Let's see. And number 7, responsibility for your life. So 7 signs of a good attitude is taking responsibility for your life or your business in this scenario. Look at yourself, honestly assess your strengths and weaknesses, and don't put the blame of your business on your upline or anyone around you or anyone who didn't enroll like they said they were going to enroll, because it was up to you to make sure that these things happen. It is up to you to own your business. It is not up to your upline to coach you through it. She's there for to be your mentor, to help you when you reach out to her, but she's not your manager. She's not someone whoever it is. If it's me, I'm not your manager. I'm not there to tell you, you need to do X, Y, and Z today to make this happen. So owning or taking responsibility for your business. And you're responsible for your attitude. So if you're listening to these things and you think like, yeah, I kind of have problem like finding the solution and everything, I have a problem kind of taking advice from people who just started, that kind of thing. Personal development is so huge, right? How many times have you heard this? And how many people are actually engaged in personal development? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So it's so important. And I know for a long time I was not doing it as a new coach. I was just kind of yesing my upline to death. And every time I had a question or like was asking like, why isn't this working? She'd be like, well, what are you doing for personal development? I'm like, oh, dang it, I'm not doing it. But now it's a habit, right? It's one of those behaviors that has become habit. It's easy for some people to do. And it's easy for some people not to do, but that's what's going to put you on that failure curve. I know Danielle Torrey just commented it makes a huge difference. And I know she's been a huge advocate of personal development even before you started coaching, I think you were reading. So you're exactly who I thought of when I said it's easy for some people to do because it's just part of what they're doing. For other people, it really takes finding that right topic for them, finding that right book or that right podcast and really diving in. So dig into personal development. associate with positive people. These are all taking responsibility for your business. Making your present moment the happiest, so kind of embracing that positivity and not harping on things that aren't important. And don't take life too seriously. Taking action in your business, but not taking life too seriously that you're going to curl up in a ball of depression for a month if you don't hit Success Club, right? It's not the end of the world. When I didn't hit Elite, I was probably in depression for a day, and then I snapped out of it because outside of Beachbody, nobody freaking knows what Elite is. It's more of a standard for myself that I was holding myself to, right? These goals are huge because they help you succeed in this business. Recognition is awesome. The perks are awesome, but my life will go on, and it has gone on for the last 6 months after missing Elite, right? So you can't take it too seriously. You push for it because it's worth it, but if it doesn't happen, you can't crumble. You gotta get over that speed bump. So that's great. Okay, so we've got, you need a dream, you need a why, you need a positive attitude, but how do you cultivate these things and stay consistent in your business? And how do you do it to form a strong business? You've got to kind of like weave all these cables together to make a really strong suspension. All right, so the first thing we've already talked about, so how to kind of weave these things together. We talked about the 7 signs of a positive attitude. We need a positive attitude. We need a dream, but you need to show up, and you need to make the decision to go all in. And all in scares a lot of people, but it doesn't mean you need to go all in and spend every waking moment. You need to go all in on what you are prepared to do in the business. So whether that's a power hour a day for your business, whether it's 3 hours a day, whether it's an hour in the morning or an hour at night, you need to show up for that. Showing up is, you're all here. You all showed up tonight. That's awesome. The second part is being consistent. So, you showed up tonight, but are you showing up every single week for team calls and making it a priority? Because consistency is so huge. Are you showing up and being consistent to your power hour every day like you said you would? Or are you doing a power hour on Monday, and then when you realize you need to hit Success Club, you do a little bit more work on Thursday? You do a little bit more next Sunday. If you want to build a business, you have to show up, every day, whatever it is for you in your business. Maybe it is like you do this Monday through Friday, or maybe it is you build on the weekends. Whatever it is for you that you determine, you need to show up to that consistently. And you need to be okay with the results when you don't. So you can't complain about Success Club if you're not showing up every day. So 1 was showing up, but secondly was showing up consistently. We talked about having that positive attitude and being committed for the long haul. I know I've had coaches come into the team and they're gung-ho, they're ready to succeed, and a month goes by and they don't hit Success Club, they don't achieve mega bucks, which I don't know why they get the impression you're going to do that in a month anyway, but then they quit. My advice to you guys, if you are serious about this business, when you commit to this business, commit for a year. When you enroll coaches with you, don't be afraid to tell them this doesn't happen overnight. Commit to this for 1 year and see what happens. Like when you show up, number 1, show up consistently. Show up consistently for a year, you're going to build a business. There's no secret sauce to it. You just need to show up consistently. I tell people all the time, like when we go to Summit in 2-3 weeks or something, Summit I can't even think of the year right now. Sorry, guys. Summit 2017 tickets are going to go on sale while we're at Summit. If you are not at Summit this year, or even if you are at Summit this year, buy that ticket. Get that ticket. If you are on track to be a success starter, I believe you get the money back because you earn your ticket. So Danielle, confirm for me. So get the ticket. Get on that ticket. Yes, it's an expense, but why are you here today if you don't plan to be here in a year? So come to Summit because it is the freaking awesomest event of the year, like legit. And it's so much fun. And next year, it's not in Nashville. I got a rumor it wasn't in Nashville. We don't know where it is yet. So stay tuned for that big announcement. But point being, commit to it. Commit to a year. And if you're doing that from this point, you're coming to Summit next year. Cultivate a burning desire backed by faith. Okay, this is a big one. So you need to be willing to go beyond wanting this. So many of us can sit here and say like, oh, I want to be a successful coach. I want to build this business. But it has to go beyond like, I hope I can do that, or I wish I could be like that coach. And it has to go into, I know I can do this. So you have to have faith in yourself and in this business, and that belief in all of these things. And when you do have that belief, you can easily talk about these things, and you can create this vision board and put these big grand things on the vision board, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be materialistic. Whatever it is for you that is your dream, visualize it. Put it on a vision board, set a date to it, and work towards it. The power of vision boards is pretty amazing. Let's see. Oh, because in the book they were saying those who, vision boards are so important because it's not just wanting them, it's clearly visualizing yourself doing something. So if you want to be on stage at Summit next year, put yourself in the graphic on stage at Summit of next year. Like, see yourself doing it. Think about what it would feel like to be there, to be recognized for that. I can tell you, if you haven't had recognition for anything yet from Beachbody, it's a pretty cool feeling. Even if you're not into big, like, shows on me kind of thing, the recognition is such a good feeling because it's recognizing you for the hard work you put into your business. It's rewarding you. Danielle said she did it last year and it's happening this year. So on stage, you had something for on stage, I bet. Recognition, yeah. So put it on there, guys. Create a vision board. It can be, I've seen people who have it just on the background of their phone. They're looking at it every single day with things that they want to happen with this business. So don't be afraid to dream big. That's the point. And not hoping or wishing, but knowing. And my team will know if they post in the team page about, I hope I can do that, or I wish I could, they're going to get nabbed right away, and they're going to change that I hope to I will. Because it's true. If you start thinking about it and you start speaking in that language, you're going to see it happen. If you're wishing for it, what are you going to do to get there? You can't just wish for something. You have to work for it, right? You have to work for it to make it happen. So you have to know that if you do X, Y, and Z, that's possible. So knowing your business. All right. Oh, we're doing pretty good here, guys. We're on track. Another tip for how to kind of cultivate this and combine these things into your business and stay consistent, you have to be willing to pay the price. And the word sacrifice to people is very scary. But sacrifice doesn't mean you have to give up The Bachelorette, which I applaud you all because you're all on this call right now, and I know I'm DVRing it, but you're all making a sacrifice tonight to not be watching that live. Maybe you DVR'd it. Doesn't mean you have to give up everything. Sacrifices for you in this business might just be you got rid of junk food as a challenger. You're no longer stopping at McDonald's. That's a sacrifice for you. It may be a sacrifice that you cannot always be right. We are in a relationship building business. So maybe you're sacrificing this personality trait you had that forced you to always want to be right and always win the conversation. Maybe that's the sacrifice you're making. So don't always think of it as like this, time with family, TV time, X, Y, and Z. You just have to be willing to give up a couple things. Maybe you're sacrificing your comfort zone. Maybe you're getting out of this bubble. That's the sacrifice you're making to succeed in the business. Maybe it's 15 minutes of sleep. Maybe you're waking up 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier, 22 minutes earlier to get that workout in before the kids wake up. So whatever it is for you, the price you pay now is going to be very small in the grand scheme of things. If you weren't to commit to those, if you weren't to give up anything, the price you pay in the end kind of stinks. Like, just do the small sacrifices now, get the big payoff. And the last tip on this point is to practice slight edge integrity. And I'm just going to read something out of this book. If you haven't read this one, this is one of my favorites. It's kind of where my team calls go all the time. But it's called Practice Slight Edge Integrity. Let me just find the right page here. And I'm going to read right from the book because I can't say it any better. So, it's bedtime, end of a long, rough day, and you're beat. before I go on, how many people are working full time? Yeah, a lot of people. Okay, so you can relate. End of the day, you're beat, don't want to do anything. You head for bed, and there's your book sitting there looking at you. You've made a commitment to read 10 pages a day, but man, you are tired. Don't even know if you can keep your eyes open. What to do? You know, you say to yourself, if I skip the 10 pages just for tonight, it's no big deal. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It's not going to make a huge difference one way or the other. It is no big deal. And in that moment, you find out who you really are. It's in that moment's decision, when nobody else is watching and no one will ever know, when your choice is so slight, so subtle, so insignificant. It's at that moment you find out whether or not you have slight edge integrity. So, what are you doing for your business when no one's looking? What are you doing even though your upline isn't checking in with you that day? Was it, oh, I didn't do my power hour, but no one's going to say anything about it? Or is it, I didn't do my power hour, I'm going to go and do that right now before I go to bed, because that's what I'm here for, and that's consistency. So, all right. So, to wrap this up, I encourage you first to develop your dream. It's so important. Know your why, your dream. Really make it scary. What do you dream of in 5, 10, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it may be? Beachbody can likely help you achieve those goals. So believe in it. Believe in the opportunity bigger than Beachbody, the big picture. Second, do a self-reflection on your attitude. Do you have a positive attitude? Are you somebody that after a conversation with you, they leave happier? There's a quote out there about that, and I love it. It's like, in every conversation, does the person who leaves the conversation with you feel happier, have more of a pep in their step? Are there things you can improve on to develop your attitude? And you know how to do that. You got to find the right book or the right podcast. Doesn't happen overnight, but when you do those 10 minutes a day, 10 pages a day, it will happen. It will compound. Things will start to improve. And lastly, make choices each day that are going to put you on the success curve. I think about that all the time, every single day. Like, do I want to do it or do I not want to do it? Well, I want to do it because I thought about it, I got time to do it, and it's going to help me build my business. So I'm going to put in the work today. One of the things that I'll end with is that Barbie Kalev's National Wake Up Call today I talked a little bit about. She talked about setting standards. And I think that is one of the things that will drive somebody in this business, or will, put them on the success or failure curve. Setting standards for yourself is something that no upline can tell you to do it. Nobody else can set them for you at all. Not your success partner, not your teammates, nothing. The standards you set for yourself are because you want to achieve that. Because if you don't do that, you feel like you let yourself down. This is your business. So whether that's Success Club, whether that's hitting 2-star diamond, 5-star diamond, whatever, these are non-negotiables for you. Barbie Kalev has been in Success Club for something like 74 months. That seems short now, but something like that. Might be more, since she started coaching, and she was one of the like original coaches. She talks about how those things are just things that she just does it because if she doesn't do it, she'll know that herself felt like a failure. Not because anyone's judging her, anyone's looking at her, anyone's telling her she didn't hit Success Club, but because that's something that she knows she can do each month. And what is acceptable for you in your business every single day, and what can you do each day? Like we just talked about, all these things you can do to make sure that you're achieving that. So setting standards for yourself, kind of just in line with setting goals for yourself, so important. And if you're not setting goals, that's definitely something you can do starting as soon as after this call. Like, what is your next goal? What are you working for? And having that big dream of why driving you forward.
Thank you so much, Annalisa. I'm sure the pregnancy is getting to you speaking so much.
No, I feel like people say pregnant brain, and I'm like, I swear, like I can't remember. I can't remember if I said things, so I may have repeated myself a few times. So bear with me, guys, but I hope you found something helpful out of that, a nugget that you can take and implement in your business moving forward beyond the vital behaviors. So I'm open for any questions. I'm an open book, even if it's about nothing that I talked about. So touch base. Let me know. Let me hear from you.
Go ahead and unmute and ask any questions you guys have. I was going to say The Slight Edge, I'm reading it again right now, and I love it. It's a great book.
I really find that books, like if you can have 10 books in your PD library, and each time you pick it up, it's going to relate to you in a different way. So I'm reading The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster again by Darren Hardy, because it's just it takes on a whole new meaning when you're in different places in your business.
Don't be bashful, guys.
I know. My team doesn't say anything, Danielle, so
Our team knows that I'll call them out. Lauren, what you got?
I was just hitting on mute. No, I must have seen that movement. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much. I have an insane hand cramp for all that I just wrote.
Probably because I was talking a mile a minute. The last time I did this call, I went over an hour, and I was like, trying to get everything out. I'm glad.
I think, I mean, I have a lot of stars, and I'm sorry if you looked at my head for more than you saw my face. But I think one of the things that kind of really started to speak to me is I've always thought about my why, and it stayed pretty consistent over time. And what I really liked is when you said, think about your dream, think about if you could do anything, what would it be? And I immediately had a visual in my head, and it was a little bit more selfish than, what I had said in my why when I first started. So, maybe my why is kind of evolving a little bit as I continue. But that made it so clear. And I immediately had like this gut fire where I was like, no, like I'm doing this for me. There's a totally different reason. Yes, I can help out my husband. I can help out my life. But I mean, I would love if I could sit on a farm and have a tiny house. And like, that's going to be I'm going to go find a picture and put it on my background now, because that's my new dream. And it kind of just took a little while for you to say that, for me to realize it. And I think that's a great, powerful way to kind of visualize why you're doing something, and it makes it a little bit more tangible for me. And I'm sorry, I don't have a question. I just had to say that was really awesome, and that really helped me out.
I love your feedback. I just got chills, because I know that feeling of like when it clicks a little bit more, and when you think like, what is my dream? Like I said, like if somebody came to you and said like, what is your dream? Like, what if I could grant you with anything right now, what would it be? And you kind of think of that big picture, and who knows if it's going to be exactly Beachbody that gets you there, but this is going to be the path that opens up those doors and opens up freedom. And it may be Beachbody that gets you there. But you just take it one day at a time, knowing like the things I'm doing today, the decisions I'm making today are for this tiny house on a farm. So put it, front and center, visualize it, put it up there, and it serves as a reminder every single day why you're inviting that person, why you're starting your next challenge group. And, I just wanted to add, it's interesting you said it's kind of selfish, but here's the thing, guys, like we are in a business of helping people because we enjoy doing that. That's not why you're a Beachbody coach. It makes it great because it's fun and it's awesome. When people get results, it feels good, it's rewarding, you're helping them, and it feels amazing. But we can help people without this opportunity. You can go volunteer somewhere and help people feel good. But why are you an entrepreneur? And that's related to what Lauren was just talking about. Like, it's a little bit selfish in terms of your big dream. But we have this amazing opportunity of genuine, valuable opportunity that you can help people feel good and feel good about what you're selling them while you work for that goal. Because I don't think of this as selling. I think of it as helping people. I used to sell Leah Sophia jewelry. That was selling. Beachbody isn't, in my opinion. I feel much better about it. I feel comfortable asking for money for these things because I know people are going to get results. So it's okay to be selfish in my opinion, in your dream, in your why. That's why you're working for this business.
Who else has a question? Tara, what you got? Yep, you.
Guys, Danielle, I might take a note from Danielle's book for our team calls because you're just calling people out.
Yep.
He's always calling us out. No, I think the part that I don't think I have a question either, but what stuck out to me was I've always been in the church and I've always had a deep-rooted faith in that, and that, you know, if I ask for help and if I stay consistent in my prayers, that things will happen, not just given to you, but that things, you know, it's just like I don't know, it's just something that I grew up with. And so I've never actually put that same amount of encouragement and faith into myself. So I think that's the part that stood out to me, was your desires need to be backed by faith, is what I latched on to what you said. But knowing that I can do this and not knowing that it's in someone else's hands. And yes, they might give me the ability to believe in myself, and that's what my faith is going to get me, but I've actually not believed in myself internally. And I think that's what spoke to me through the whole thing, is that this is going to come down to what you're doing every single day. And if you believe that you can reach it and you do what you need to do, then it is going to happen. So thank you for that.
Your coaches rock. I'm like getting little chills when people have these realizations. Thank you guys for sharing. That's awesome.
What else you guys got? I could call my newbies out. Shannon or Emily, you got anything, ladies?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, by the way. It's my first Monday.
Your first one, yeah.
From you.
Yeah, your first call. Welcome.
I mean, I think, you know, listening to just some of the things you're saying, and one thing I'm realizing that maybe a goal this week that I'm struggling with is, you know, some reaching out to that family and friend category that you're almost closer to. I don't know if it's maybe the rejection is more intense when it's someone you know versus reconnecting with, you know, distant friends or maybe people you don't see every day, but happening will be helpful. So if you have any tips on dealing with that, but otherwise I appreciate the inspiration there.
It is hard. I agree. You were cutting out a little bit, but I think I got everything.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. It might have been my computer, but yeah, I agree. I was more comfortable reaching out to acquaintances for a while, but now that my family's doing it, I'm usually like, yeah, get involved. But some people, you know, some people's families still haven't drank the Kool-Aid, as a lot of people like to say about us, but they'll come around. You know, it's just keep it natural. My biggest tip for talking with family is really just keeping it natural, sharing what you're doing and inviting them to get involved in your next challenge group with no pressure, just saying like, hey, I'm always hosting. I'd love to have you jump in and see what it's all about, and keep it really natural. They're drinking it one at a time, the Kool-Aid or the Shakeology.
Annalisa, Shannon's living in Charleston. She just moved. Annalisa just moved from there, Shannon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm doing okay, but it is one of my favorite places in the world, so
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Awesome spot. Thank you.
Anything else?
I did think of a question. I'm sorry. So it kind of relates to the positive attitude piece that you've been speaking to. So if you get, because I just shared in our team page that I did get one of my first comments today that was a little bit negative, and basically was talking about, you know, is this one of those companies, I forget the wording, but it wasn't so pleasant.
Pyramid scheme.
Pretty much. So I wanted to kind of ask you, what is your thought process when you get that negative comment or that negative message? What are you kind of thinking through before you respond?
That's a really good question, and it's definitely evolved, because I can tell you at first I would have been like knocked on my behind and like cried to my upline or something about it. I think it comes with belief in this opportunity, and the more the longer you're in it, or I shouldn't even say the longer you're in it, the more you embrace it and the more you engage in it, the stronger the belief becomes. And when you know your business, when you know why we're not a pyramid scheme, when you know why we're not going anywhere, because people are going to say like, oh, it's a fad, it's going somewhere. When you really start to learn these things and have responses for each, you kill them with kindness. Like, hey, I totally get why you think that. I thought the same thing before I started, but I learned this. If it's something that you can kind of respond to. Or sometimes I'm just, maybe someone else could speak to this a little bit better, because I've been really fortunate in that I haven't gotten really negative remarks or comments on my posts or messages, but I have seen them out there. So before, I remember I used to see someone posted a horrible thing about Beachbody, and it was when I first started, and I was like, oh, I need to message them and tell them all this, why they're wrong. Now you just have to be like, they're not going to be on my team, and that's one person that I don't have to worry about, or whatever. One person that isn't going to make a change in my life. I'm going to focus on the 10 people who do say yes, the 10 people who do get it. And I think it's really hard. It's really easy to focus on that one negative comment in a stream of positivity, right? You've got 20 comments on something, 20 positive comments on something, and the one that stands out is going to be the one slightly negative comment. So you need to just, if you want to, my opinion is, if it's a comment on your thread, if you want to just kind of kill them with kindness and say, like, I appreciate your opinion, I'd love to talk to you more about it, and just be confident in what you're doing. I think that's huge. Confidence is key. When you believe in yourself and this opportunity, and you're confident, you've been resourceful, and you've learned why we're not a pyramid scheme. If you're responding to that kind of thing, you're going to feel better about responding to it. So I guess to make that all wrap up into one thing, don't worry too much about it if it's not a personal thing to you. Like, just let it roll off your back. If it is something personal to you, message them and kill them with kindness, and don't take offense to it, and just say, like, hey, I understand your comment, and I felt the same way. Felt, found kind of response. Before I started, I thought the same thing, and now what I've learned is, or asking them questions. What makes you feel that way about this? Did you have a bad experience? Just kind of educating. Did that help at all? I'm blabbing.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
I was going to say also, don't message them back right away. Like, take a few minutes and step back and clear your thoughts, because often we want to react right away, and then you say something you probably don't want to. But the only bad messages I've gotten, it's really just they're unhappy with themselves. And you just have to remember, it's nothing about you. They just don't know about it. And you just use it as fire on your own post to post through objections and share why it does mean the world to you and what it has changed in your life. And I guarantee they'll keep watching, because I've actually had a girl who totally threw me off. And then 4 months later, she came back ready to sign up. It was the weirdest experience ever, but you just never know. So,
yeah, I totally taking that time to step back and not react, but being that proactive is so important. And I just saw Heather is one of my coaches. She just commented in the chat that she can't talk because her baby is sleeping. But Heather is asking, or right now she's trying to show how the products work with her own change. She's doing great. Should I try to reach out to my friends and family, or will they naturally come to me, seeing me as an inspiration? Anyone else want to respond to that? Who's had experience?
Go, Amy.
Woohoo! I shared with Danielle. She messaged me for a year before I finally committed. And my first post, I got a message. I have a sister that's a year and a half younger than me. And she sent me a text message, and she said, I'm telling you right now, if you spam my Facebook, I'm going to unfriend you. And so, for me personally, I was a little bit upset about it, but then I kind of used that to fuel the fire. And I didn't even tell Danielle, but she is buying the 21-day fix. So,
hey.
Yeah, so it took 6 months, but, so I would say, yeah, for me, I kind of step back, especially because it was my sister, and just let her naturally see my posts. Everything was positive on my end, and she finally came around. The other thing, I know Lauren said, there were a couple people that I went to high school with that were posting on their own wall about how it's a pyramid scheme, how you have to sell to make money for someone else. And me personally, I just screenshot every time I saw something negative, and I have an inspiration file in my pictures. And whenever I'm feeling like I'm having a crappy day, I just look through it and I'm like, I want to prove you wrong. I want to prove you wrong. And so, like, for me personally, because I'm a visual person, I like screenshotting it and saving it.
And they all like her posts, like all
the time.
That's so funny. Some people would like curl up and you're using it as fuel.
I know. Yeah. Awesome. Yep.
I would say, and also in response to Heather's, like you, sorry, hold on. Someone just jumped off and I lost where you were. Amy, your sister posting worked for your sister. I would say, Heather, as a new coach, you're going to learn it's a combination of both. Mm-hmm. Posting is so important because you will find those people who kind of come out of the woodwork and message you and you're like, wow, I haven't talked to them forever, and you feel good because they're watching you. But at the same time, inviting people every single day is one of those vital behaviors that's so important. The combination of both is what's going to help you succeed in your business. So posting is important, but we cannot rely only on posting to build a business.
I think just get on the phone with your family and friends too. Just get on the phone with them. Who was talking? Sorry.
I was.
Go ahead, Tara. My bad.
I kind of went through the same thing when I first started, I think, because I signed up. Well, I signed up because I was reaching out to Danielle about being a group fitness instructor. And she was like, well, why do you want to do that? And I'm like, I have all this knowledge I feel like I should share. And she's like, well, if you're doing that, you're really not going to make a lot of money if you're doing one class a week and you're working full time. So for me, it was, I had to take a step back and just work on using the products at first, because it was a mental struggle for me, because I didn't feel like I was being truthful with other people, trying to get them to sign up for something that I didn't even know about. So for me, it was more of an internal battle of, okay, well, I'm going to post my journey for 2 weeks, and then I'm going, well, I actually did it for a week, and then Danielle made me cut it down to 3 days. But it's like, I'm going to post my journey for a week and just try this on my own and see what it's like, and then I'll have my own story. So I didn't feel so fake, and I didn't feel false talking about it. So that's how I addressed that, because I had had a personal trainer for 7 months before, and I knew a gym and weights, and so I didn't feel like I was the one who could talk about home workouts. It's just my 2 cents.
That totally makes sense. And I typically now, when I enroll new coaches, like if I enroll someone today, they're not training in July. They're focusing on their challenge, and then they're training to be a coach in August, because I want them, like you said, to have that experience with the program, with Shakeology, so they can feel more comfortable talking about it, even if it's just using it for a week or 2 weeks. So important and helpful.
Well, I don't want to take any more of your guys' time, but thank you so much, Annalisa. I think that my team really benefited from this, and I will see your team next week.
It was so fun. I know. I'm going to take a screenshot, so everybody wave. Okay. And yes, Danielle is on our team call next week. We're going to hear from her. She's been very successful in her business. So I know you guys will learn, have a bunch of takeaways from that next week. So we do have our calls at the same time. So we kind of combined today, and I know next week, I think your team is having a leader step in. So Danielle, goal diggers, right?
Glow diggers, yeah.
Glow diggers. It's so good to see some of your new faces. If you're coming to Summit, make sure to say hello if you see us there. And we'll have a Aspire Nation and Glow Diggers fiesta. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Danielle, for having me on the call. It's always fun to meet new people. And I'll see you all soon.
Thanks, Annalisa. Have a great week, guys.